Hi, everybody. Mark Stone, Eastern Propane and Oil. Been with Eastern for, this is my 14th year, but been involved with JD Edwards for quite a bit longer than that. Very exciting times to be a JD Edwards customer, and looking forward to sharing what we're doing with Swift with you all. Eastern is made up of 2/3 mobile employees. Most of the people that work at Eastern don't work in an office. So they need to have a way to get information out in the field and capture information and then return it to our system of record so that we can bill our customers. And again, Orchestrator and now Swift are two really important parts of that. So why did Eastern select Swift? This came about last year at the beginning of a pretty significant project that Eastern was undertaking to replace a legacy delivery system. We've been using a delivery system since 2014 that for a few reasons needed to be replaced. As part of the project, we started to implement, and it became apparent that there were a few gaps that we thought initially we would be able to address with the new solution, and we weren't able to do so. We started looking around for solutions for this, and based on these bullet points, we were looking for something that was going to be easy for us to implement quickly and to maintain with the resources that we had. It had to be device agnostic because we had a couple of different devices that we're using in the field. JD Edwards was going to be the system of record, and we prefer to use the Orchestrator for the integrations. And we wanted to have some familiarity with the partner so that they understood JD Edwards. We needed to make this happen quickly, and it was important for us that we hit the ground running and that we're all talking the same talk in regards to applications when we brought the vendor on board. Security was also really important. Security is very important to us here at Eastern, as it is everywhere else. But those are the main things that we were looking for. Ephlux has delivered on every single one of them. All of the bullet points covered on the screen are absolutely true. It's business analyst friendly. We found that when we were creating, we could create a relatively simple design document, a functional / technical design document. And when we gave it to the folks at Ephlux, they were able to immediately understand what we were talking about. It was all apples to apple. So it was very business analyst friendly. They actually already had for one of our applications, that one of our needs, they had a solution that almost completely covered it. That was a big help. It also covered the ability to work on both of the devices that we used. We used actually all three of them. We used an Android device, we use iPhones, and we use Windows tablets on our legacy application. They both could be customized or we like to call it Easternized, so that our users had the ability to do both of these things in our legacy application, and we were able to make the forms look like they were used to, which was a huge plus. Obviously, the ability to take the JD Edwards functionality out so that we weren't having to reinvent anything inside JD Edwards was really a big thing. It helped us from so many points, not to mention the least of which is the fact that we didn't have to create anything new to make this stuff work. We can move on to the next one. I'll describe the two applications that we use. The first one that we implemented was time entry. This is exactly how it sounds. Our delivery team needed to be able to enter their time. They also needed to be able to see their time that they'd already entered for the week. So they entered their time typically daily, and then they submit it on Friday. They do a lot of overtime, especially this time of year. So their time is kind of complicated. There's a mix of different variables that they need to be able to select to enter their time. The application that Ephlux helped us create on Swift was able to cover all that stuff really easily, and it came able to connect to the orchestrations that we have, the forms that we have set up in JD Edwards into the JD Edwards interoperability out of the box. So we were able to implement this really quickly. As I said before, we were able to make it look like the current application. So training was almost a non-event, and the information that we were capturing on the Swift app flowed into JD Edwards exactly like it did in the legacy application. So our inside people didn't know any different. So it was a fantastic solution for us that Ephlux was able to deliver to us in a fraction of the time I think it would have taken for us to develop this without it.
Thanks a lot, Mark. It's a pleasure to have both of you, and I hope that everybody benefited from our session that we had put together.
Thanks, Ali.